أنا لها أنا لها لا أنثني عند الصعاب أنا لها أنا لها أنا لها.
الرحمن الرحيم. أهلا ومرحبا. Welcome again to our new series as we continue to analyze the 6 fundamental verbs. In this lesson, we are going to be looking at the analysis of the second among the 6 fundamental verbs, which is daraba. Now, first of all, let's look at the active past tense of this verb, which is fi'l al-madi al-ma'lum. That is the active past tense of daraba. Now, the first verb we have on the table is daraba, meaning he beat. That is in masculine gender. Then the next is darabat, meaning she beat in feminine gender. So in Arabic language, when you want to say he beat, you say daraba, he beat. Then you want to say she beat, you say darabat, she beat. Now the next is darabta, meaning you beat in masculine gender. Now the next is darabti, meaning you beat in feminine gender. So in Arabic, when you want to say you beat, that is talking to a male, you say darabta. Then you want to say you beat, talking to a female, you say darabti. Now the next is darabtu, meaning I beat for both the masculine gender and also the feminine gender. Now the next is daraba, meaning both of them beat in masculine gender. Then darabata, both of them beat in feminine gender. So in Arabic, when you want to say both of them beat in masculine gender, you say daraba. Then feminine gender, you say darabata. Now the next is darabtuma, meaning both of you beat in masculine gender. Then we also have darabtuma, meaning both of you beat in feminine gender. Meaning you can use the verb darabtuma to refer to both the male and the female, meaning both of you beat. Now the next is darabna, meaning we beat for both the masculine gender and the feminine gender. Now the next is darabu, meaning all of them beat, that is in masculine gender. Then darabna, meaning all of them beat in feminine gender. The next is darabtum, meaning all of you beat in masculine gender. Darabtunna, all of you beat in feminine gender. Then darabna, we beat for both the masculine gender and the feminine gender. So this is the second fundamental verb among the 6 fundamental verbs. So the important thing about this table, as we earlier said, is when you practice and master the table very well, any other kind of 3-lettered verb that you come across, you will be able to say anything with such verb. Now let's look at the passive or the unknown past tense format of the verb daraba. So in Arabic language, when you want to change a verb from its active form to the passive form, all you'll be required to do is to change the first letter of such verb to dhamma, and also change the second to the last letter of such verb to kesra. Now the verb daraba, as you can see, it is a past tense that is in active form. Now you want to change it to a passive form. You are going to change the first letter, which is ba, to dhamma, and also the second to the last letter to kasra. So you have duriba, meaning he was beaten. That is in masculine gender. Now the next is duribat, meaning she was beaten. Now the next is doribta, meaning you were beaten in masculine gender. Then the next is doribti, meaning you were beaten in feminine gender. Then the next is doribtu, meaning I was beaten in both the masculine gender and the feminine gender. Now the next is duriba, meaning both of them were beaten in masculine gender. Duribata, both of them were beaten in feminine gender. Duribtuma, both of you were beaten in masculine gender. Then duribtuma, both of you were beaten in feminine gender. Meaning you can use the verb duribtuma to refer to both of you were beaten in both the masculine gender and the feminine gender. Now the next is duribna, we were beaten for both the masculine gender and the feminine gender. Meaning a male can say doribna, we were beaten, and also a female can use the verb doribna to say we were beaten. Now the next is doribu, meaning all of them were beaten in masculine gender. Doribna, all of them were beaten in feminine gender. Doribtum, all of you were beaten in masculine gender. Doribtunna, all of you were beaten in feminine gender. Then duribna, meaning all of us or we were beaten for both the masculine gender and the feminine gender. Now let's do the same thing with another verb under the same fundamental pattern, which is jalasa. So the verb jalasa is also falling under the same fundamental verb with daraba. So here you say jalasa, meaning he sat, jalasat, she sat, jalasta, you sat, jalasti, you sat, female, then jalastu, I sat, jalasa, both of them sat, jalasata, both of them sat for feminine gender, jalastuma, both of you sat, then jalastuma, both of you sat for feminine gender. Then jalasna, we sat. Jalasu, all of them sat, masculine gender. Jalasna, all of them sat, feminine gender. Jalastum, all of you sat, masculine gender. Jalastunna, all of you sat, feminine gender. Then jalasna, we sat for both the masculine gender and the feminine gender. Now, let's take for instance, you want to say he wrote. So which position in the table are you going to derive that from? So you want to say he wrote, you are going to derive that from here. You say kataba, meaning he wrote. Now for instance, you want to say you wrote in masculine gender. So where are you going to derive that from? You are going to derive that from here. You say katabta, you wrote masculine gender. For instance, you want to say all of them wrote feminine gender. You derive that from here. Katabna, all of them wrote feminine gender. Now you want to say all of you wrote masculine gender. You are going to derive that from here. Meaning katabtum, all of you wrote in masculine gender. So with this table, you'll be able to say anything you want with any verb in Arabic language. So in that case, we are urging each and every one of us to practice and master the meaning of each of these verbs. And if there is any way you can memorize the table, that will be the best. So inshallah, here we are going to end this lesson. See you in our next lesson, where we are going to look at the third among the 6 fundamental verbs, which is nasab.